Nitro number 208, September 13th, 1999. 7 minutes passed, nothing happened, and then Chris Benoit wrestled Dean Malenko.
Okay.
Rob's beckoning to us again. What's going on here, Rob?
I'm so sorry. It's past the point now. I was just going to let you know, in case you were really interested, the whole referee thing. There was a mass resignation of Major League umpires in 1999.
See, there we go. I told you. Hey, point to the mic next time so I know you want to actually talk.
Okay.
You're just beckoning to me. All right, we all got it now?
Hey.
I'm going to give him signal flags.
It's not even signal flags. Every now and then he just nods at me. Hey! Hey!
Brian nods back.
Oh, yeah, point to the mic.
How you doing?
You're a very handsome man, Brian. I'm sorry.
I'm aware of that. That's why I need more clues that you want to talk.
That was Craig.
Yeah.
All right, we ready here?
As I noted, 7 minutes of Nitro went by with absolutely jack all nothing happening.
Yep.
Chris Benoit versus Dean Malenko. They're buddies. The title shot on the line, allegedly. They start brawling on the floor, and Shane Douglas and Saturn break them up and say, no.
I can't believe Vince is already pissed off at this show for like the best thing on the show.
This was a great match.
This was a great match.
Well, it was
way better than last week.
It was by the end.
Fans went nuts for the superplex spot.
They booed when they start when Shane and Saturn made them stop brawling on the floor. The fans booed,
sure.
And then 5 minutes later was a great wrestling match, and they cheered.
Yeah.
So that happened. They start doing near falls. Dean has a superplex, but Benoit turns into a cradle for the win. It was a very fun TV match.
Great finish.
Dynamite Kid finish right there.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking about saying Raw may have been the better show.
I don't know what you were talking about, dude. And by the way, they recapped the pay-per-view where Sting won the title and turned heel.
Okay, they did mention it?
Yep.
Yes, they
Okay.
did.
Harlem Heat won the titles for the 9th time.
Right.
All of that happened.
Mean Gene brings out Ric Flair for a promo.
Yeah, Bischoff's gone, Flair's back.
Amazing.
He says, I haven't watched this show in 10 weeks. I watched it last week, realized I need to come back.
Okay.
That is exactly what he said, and
It's a good explanation.
he's not wrong.
No one has ever shot on wrestling shows more than Ric Flair in his promos in the late 90s.
Yes.
He just tells the truth.
Funny you decided to come back in the Carolinas.
Yeah. He laughs off all the stupid stuff he'd done on TV for the past 6 months. The heart attack, the institutions, all that crap.
Laughed it off.
Yep.
Never happened.
Well, it happened. He just doesn't care anymore.
It was funny.
Brags about his kids. Talks about Sting being the new world champion. Ric Flair, the dirtiest player in the game, is appalled that Sting would hit Hulk Hogan in the head with a baseball bat to win the world title.
Well, yeah, he's a despicable type, but he has a great respect for the young Stinger. He can't believe that he is moving to the dark side.
I see.
Yeah.
All right, that actually makes some sense. Sting and Lex come out. So when Gene called out Flair 10 minutes ago, Tony says, wait a minute. This isn't on our format. It's Ric Flair. So out comes Sting and Lex, and Flair's response is, hey, you need to read the format. It says Ric Flair in big letters.
10 minutes. That's what the format said. Ric Flair, 10 minutes.
Ric Flair, 10 minutes,
He wanted
yes.
his whole goddamn 10 minutes.
He wanted his time. Sting starts talking about how he and Flair go way, way back, and we are right up to the Clash in the retro NWA reviews. It's exactly what Sting's talking
bizarre.
about here. It's amazing.
Yeah, Flair is too. He goes, I made you a millionaire. I made you famous.
Yeah.
I made you the most promising young star in the sport. I'm like, we're watching that this weekend.
Spoilers, dude. So Sting says Flair has repeatedly stabbed him in the back. Fact.
It is a fact.
But out of respect for all their battles, he's going to offer Flair a chance to leave peacefully and gracefully. So Ric Flair, he's fiery and defiant, and he stops and says, okay, you're right. And he starts to leave. He steps out of the ring, and he steps back he steps back to the mic and says, not!
He and Gene both said not.
For those of you who keep historical records and stats and that kind of thing, September 13th, 1999, the most uncool moment of Ric Flair's life. So everyone's just yammering on for a while about nothing.
This went on too long. Luger starts talking.
Yeah. Are you saying those two facts are connected?
Yeah.
Eventually, Lex sucker punches Flair. They put him in the torture rack. They put him in the Scorpion. An hour goes by. Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart round to make the save. Hogan cuts a promo. Challenges them to a tag match. I know I've mentioned it before, but it makes me laugh every week. You've never seen a man so happy after being in the... He's had to sell tickets to fights for 20 years now. And finally, he's just allowed to say, I'm going to kick your ass. Like, he's wanted to the whole time, and now he can. And so literally, by the end of this, he's just pointing at the ramp saying, we're going to kick your ass! We're going to kick your ass! We're going to kick your ass! Over and over again.
He's been doing that for a few weeks now.
It has been a few weeks, but the novelty is not worn off.
No.
So he went on so it's after the commercial we see Sting and Lex.
Before you go on, if you go back 1 year, I think it was exactly a year ago, or a little over a year ago, that Luger beat Hogan for the title and then lost it back at Road Wild.
Yeah.
Right.
He has aged so much in the last year. What happened to Lex Luger? He suddenly looks like a fucking old man out there.
The ravaging effect of time.
I have a couple of theories, but
I mean, there are a few, but man, it's like he just got so old all of a sudden.
So Sting and Lex got bored during this promo and went to the back. And they cut back there where they're watching it on a monitor. And Sting points out, so he's going to pray and then kick our ass?
right.
What a hypocrite. And Sting is exactly right.
Yes.
Lex says he didn't bring his gear.
And he doesn't have medical clearance, he says.
And no medical clearance. I had some technical issues in the show as well. It's another reason I'm in a crappy mood. So I missed the medical issues part until they talked about it later. Clips of the Hogan match from the pay-per-view. There was a bat. There was DDP. There was Sid. Sting won. Berlin and his crew showed up.
So on the board, somebody mentioned that Berlin isn't around long because of Columbine.
Right.
That's actually not true. No, Columbine was in
before this.
April.
Yeah.
Yes. They started vignettes, and then Columbine occurred. So they killed the vignettes. They axed the vignettes. And then months later, they brought him in. And I don't know why he leaves a second time. He's only here for like a few months, and that's it.
I think the build ended up being longer than his actual tenure.
Yes.
So
Kind of like Emelina.
So at exactly this point in the show, I texted you guys to let you know I was running behind and would be late. Mm-hmm. And then I hit play again. Out comes Ricky Rackman. Made us some time right away.
I'd love to recap this, Vinny. You should have
Have at
watched
it.
it.
Have
All right.
at it.
So first he comes out. The show's off the rails by this point, by the way.
Yeah, first hour.
Yeah. I thought the first hour was better than it was. So he says, we got a video package for one of our contestants here tonight. Allow me to introduce you to Zuli.
Girl from last week.
Fucking last week!
Yep.
Why are we watching this again?
Who knows?
Then he says, now we've got a video for Allison. She's new. I have no idea, by the way, why you're supposed to care about this contest. And he says, Ashley Beck is next. Shows her video. She explains, I've been watching wrestling since the mid-'80s. Dusty Rhodes, the Four Horsemen. And at least she's a fan. So they go back to the ramp. And it's Kimberly and what's the other girl's name? Spice?
That was one of them.
Yeah.
There's Spice, Fire, Whisper,
I think it was Spice.
Charmel.
The skinny one with short hair.
Yeah, though. The real petite
I
one.
like the short one. Short one's my favorite. Short hair one.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's Spice,
That's
right?
Spice?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, look it up while I explain this. So they're there,
Girl, Spice.
and Kimberly says, let me explain to y'all how to vote. Mm-hmm. Did you find out yet, Vinny?
I sure did. Yeah.
Spice?
That's Spice.
what I thought.
Spice is my favorite Nitro Girl.
All right.
Really?
So she's explaining how to vote. And then Kimberly says, if you'd like to be a Nitro Girl, you need to have personality and you need to know how to move. And she's in the middle of explaining this, and Ricky Rackman grabs the mic and he says, but please don't be ugly. No ugly chicks. And Kimberly rolls her eyes and they cut away.
Nice job, Ricky.
Sounds awesome. Oh,
I am
my
not
God.
making that up.
Oh, Christ.
He's not wrong.
Craig.
Did you ever see an ugly Nitro Girl?
JJ is on the phone. All women are beautiful, you jackass.
Understood. Some are better than others, though.
Finds out Luger not only has been cleared, he's been cleared for 3 weeks. Ugh.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were going to keep going.
He's
Disco
looking at Nitro
Inferno
Girls.
versus Eric Watts. Yeah, you want to talk to Eric Watts instead?
You distracted him with Nitro
I want to
Girls.
get through this fucking thing here.
Eric Watts is out there in worse pants than Disco.
It's true.
He was terrible, but he was funny.
His disco dancing.
Okay.
He mocked Disco's dance.
I have a new respect for Disco Inferno after watching Eric Watts try to do his dance.
He did a goofy standing splash.
Did he think it would look cool?
Yeah.
Was he trying to look cool or was he trying to look funny?
He looked like a guy getting pushed off a diving board. Doing a splash.
He stands on one foot and sticks his arms out like teeters and teeters
And falls on him.
and then just falls on him
Yeah.
slowly. I don't know if it's supposed to be cool or not.
No, it wasn't.
So something weird happened with the crowd audio. I thought maybe they were chanting something obscene and had to censor it out. Then the camera zooms in on a sign. zooms in on a sign
God.
that says, "Boring, where's Sid?" Sid's watching backstage, just hanging out. They just barely show Disco hitting the chart buster for the win.
This was a worldwide fucking disaster. This segment right here. I cannot. To cut to a sign that says, "Boring, where's Sid?" I was like, oh my God. They weren't wrong. But, like, if you know it's boring, why did you put it on television? Comes out.
Sid comes out, kills Disco, kills Watts, pins them both.
No, he pinned Watts.
Do you not pin Disco?
No, it's very important because Bobby could not figure out what was a win and what was just a move. A win is a pin. So he pinned Watts. He did not pin Disco.
So he put Disco over.
Then he cut a promo. But later he did powerbomb Disco and pinned him a second time. Or he powerbombed him a second time.
Oh, who cares?
Vinny, this is very important for historical purposes. We need to know the right number of wins.
So Sid cuts a promo. He says, "Mr. Heenan."
Yeah.
He accuses Mr. Heenan of stereotyping him as a big dumb guy.
Well,
If the shoe fits.
it's not a stereotype.
Side note, remember when Brett called him a big stupid dummy on Raw?
I do.
So he also talked about Mr. Hogan and Mr. Hart and then Billy Boy.
Yeah. No respect for Billy Boy.
Billy Boy, and I'm thinking, what issue does Sid have with Billy Kidman? Legit, I was confused until they talked about Bill Goldberg at the end. I said, oh, right.
Yeah.
Bill Goldberg, Billy Boy. Got it. So he says, whether it is a battle of wits.
Wither? It's
Are you making fun of me or Sid? I don't know.
You.
Okay.
Unless he said wither. I
think he said
then
wither.
I'm making fun of both of you.
Whether it's a battle of wits or a physical battle, everyone comes unarmed.
It's not the worst promo of 1999. Do you understand? It's just not.
He puts the U.S. title over. He calls Goldberg trash.
I loved it.
Silver King and Norman Smiley had a fun lucha match for 1 minute.
Yeah.
Sid came out again and got booed. There was actually good wrestling going on, and the fans all booed.
Right.
So they booed Sid. So he power bombs them both, pins them both. Not a DQ, mind you. Sid is the winner of this match twice.
And by the way, I want to say one thing about this. After he gets his pin, he goes to the announce booth and he alerts the announcers in a very intimidating manner that he is now 84-0.
Correct.
And they're like, "Yes, Mr. Sid, you're 84-0. Why didn't they do this on day one? It was weeks
It would have made more sense.
when they pretended that this was a real number. Like, if you would have come out on day one and said, "Listen, motherfuckers, okay, I'm 55-0 right now." If anyone would have opened their mouth, he would just chastise them and said, "I'm 55-0, keep track." Then the whole thing would have made sense.
You're right.
Lord Steven Regal and Dave Taylor versus the Wyndham Brothers.
I was done with this show for a while.
Where's Sid?
Yeah. Where's that guy with the sign?
Nothing happening. Going nowhere. Heel teams. They just take turns doing moves and cheating. No one cares. A four-way breaks out. Hennig clunks Regal with a cowbell and Barry pins him. Whoop-de-fucking-do.
It was all right.
It's supposed to be Jerry Flynn and Prince Iaukea, but Goldberg comes out instead. He apologizes to Flynn for interrupting. Cuts a promo on Sid, and now everyone's cheering. Finally Goldberg has acknowledged him. Says he admires Sid's size and his strength, but he will not stand for his mouth. And tonight he's going to put a stop to all this. And he calls out Sid repeatedly. In the cut backstage, Sid very calmly says, "This will happen when I say it happens." And he grabs his bags and he leaves. And then Flynn jumped to Goldberg just so Billy Boy had an excuse to de-spear and jackhammer and make people happy.
What actually happened is Goldberg is facing away from the ring. He's yelling at Sid for being a coward and that sort of thing. And Jimmy Hart commands Jerry Flynn to get him. It's all Jimmy's fault. Boy, did Goldberg spear this fucker to death. He speared him in two pieces. Like poor Peach's leg.
Oh, dude.
Jackhammer.
Too soon.
Place went nuts for that.
Clips of Harlem Heat beating the Rednecks for the tag titles at the pay-per-view. And then Hugh Morris and Brian Knobbs versus Harlem Heat for the tag team titles. He ran wild for a while, woke up the crowd, lots of energy.
Then they got the heat on Stevie.
Got the heat on Stevie
A
Ray.
big guy you can get no sympathy on.
Nope.
Crowd died.
But what the good news is, it let Booker meet the hot tag, and he's awesome.
Yeah.
So he's running around being great. And then the Rednecks attack for the DQ.
Cool match, bro.
My takeaway from the Monday Night Wars, after going back and watching them from start to theoretically finish,
Is they sucked?
how did wrestling survive?
I don't know. I actually don't.
Why are we not all talking about roller derby or something?
I have no idea. Well, that died too.
You should have come back. In all seriousness, thank God for the Insane Clown Posse.
The Insane
If
Clown
you haven't
Posse.
watched these shows and you think the Insane Clown Posse are like just good characters or wacky fun, especially Violent J, but also Shaggy 2 Dope, they are some of the better wrestlers on the show in the summer of 1999.
Hey,
They're better than Lenny and Lodi.
I was just gonna say, if you're planning to say this match wasn't that good, think about this. They had this match with Lenny and Lodi, who have had nothing resembling a good match with anybody, except I guess Lenny had one like a couple weeks ago with somebody, but they're not that good. ICP had a perfectly fine tag team professional wrestling match with these two guys. Even Shaggy looked pretty good.
Yeah. So a fan hits the ring, plays keep away with security. They finally
Tony
acknowledged him
Mamaluke.
as Tony Mamaluke. He has been a Lodi stalker.
He's a Lodi fanboy.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So they're chasing him backstage. They cut to cameras backstage to show security chasing him around. And Shivani says something like, "We got to do something to put a stop to this." And Heenan just says, "Take him out back and hang him."
He did suggest
Yes.
Tony Mamaluke be hanged.
Death by hanging.
Yeah.
That seems excessive to me.
Yeah, he's been going from town to town. They brought this up.
Yeah.
He's been going from town to town stalking Lodi.
That's weird.
That's really weird.
So Lenny and Lodi did all their gay comedy spots. Clowns get a big reaction for their comeback. And Lenny and Lodi try to rockerplex. Shaggy dodged. They bonked into each other. And
Is that what happened?
I had to go back
Sure.
and watch it too. And then I was
I don't know what the fuck
I was
happened.
already supposed to be here by this time. I had to go back and watch this, figure it out.
They're going for this
So
deal. and-
Lenny has Shaggy over in a suplex.
Yes.
Lodi is supposed to hit him with a body press. Hit Shaggy with a body
Yes.
press. The theory is Shaggy will dodge
How do you dodge when you're upside down in a fucking suplex?
and just slip out or escape.
He
or whatever.
didn't, though.
None of that happened. No.
No, it's Lodi came off the top and headbutted both guys.
What I said is what was supposed to happen on paper. It didn't work out that way. So Shaggy pins Lenny. Lodi is standing there 3 feet away just watching. The ref counts 3. This was a total mess, but this was a fun mess.
I liked it.
Notice Vampiro did not get involved. He was sporting a big, huge shiner.
Yeah.
Got busted up the night before.
They put a camera on him, zoomed in on his face to get the black eye, and he looks into the camera and points to the ring and says, "There's way more interesting stuff going on in there."
Yeah. And then Shivani goes, now he's trying to be their director.
Yeah.
I was like, well, there is something better going on in the
He
ring.
was right.
Chris Benoit comes out for a promo and in a very uncomfortable moment begins to talk about the demons in his mind.
Yeah, last night was one of the worst nights of my life. Couldn't stop thinking all night long. All because I had you in the crossface. I know you tapped out. I watched it again. But you still won. I'm not here to cry. No shame in losing. Sometimes the call goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. Congratulations on winning. But tonight I beat the greatest technical wrestler in WCW during a world title shot. So Sting, get your rear end out here. It was going so well until he called out Sting's rear end.
So Sting's rear and Rick Steiner came out, I guess.
Yeah.
Rick Steiner says, "Hey, I've got a title. If you want a title shot, I'll give you one right now." So it's Benoit and Steiner. Now, I did complain earlier about having seen this match a bunch of times. It's still good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
The spot where the guy tries to leapfrog and Steiner power slams him
Yeah.
never looks better than it did in this match.
I'll tell you what never looked better. He gave Chris Benoit, I think, the most awesome German suplex I've ever seen.
It's pretty
Yes.
amazing.
That didn't involve like dropping the guy right on top of his head. He just like lifted him straight up in the air and then arched back. It was beautiful.
It was amazing. So Steiner complains about a slow count. He throws the ref out of the ring. Benoit hits a flash cradle. The ref dives in and counts 3. Benoit's the new TV champion. And then Rick Steiner pops up and beats Benoit's ass and beats up the referee some more. And Dean comes out, and Steiner kicks Benoit right in front of Dean. Dean doesn't do anything. Steiner, in losing here, came off as a bigger, scarier guy than ever.
Yes.
And Benoit's like, okay, you have a title, I guess, but you did not win.
No, he was not put over.
No, this did not help him.
He merely got his hand raised on a fluke.
Mm-hmm. A Revolution video package. And then Eddie Guerrero and Perry Saturn. They did a lot of really cool stuff in this match.
Well, before the match starts, out come Rey Mysterio, Conan, and Kidman, the filthy animals.
Yes.
Are now here. And there were a fair amount of rest holds in this match. But then it picked up at the end a lot.
There were highs and lows in this match, and the lows were pretty low, but the highs were cool.
Yes.
If the highlights of this match would have been awesome. So they counter a million things. Saturn hits a cradle for the win, and the two gangs face off afterwards, but nothing happens.
2 good matches in a row.
Berlin versus Buff Bagwell.
And we had another good match.
Nothing wrong with this at all.
I thought Berlin looked great out there. He's way better as a brooding heel than the dancing dildo he was for many years.
But then, don't we all?
He's lost a lot of size.
Yes?
And a lot of hair.
Yeah,
I thought he looked exactly the same size. He just lost his tan.
His physique is not nearly as good.
not even close.
Yeah. So
I think you guys are imagining things.
went back and forth a few minutes, and then the Wall hit Buff behind the ref's back.
the Wall.
I don't know if they've named him that yet, but it's such a great name.
No, he was the Wall.
Was he okay?
Yeah, because when you hit the wall, there's no turning
Well,
back.
it's even worse. The Wall hits you.
Yeah.
He's still alive, by the way, the Wall. For some reason, I thought that he'd passed away.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I could have sworn he did.
That's what I thought, too, but I believe he's still alive.
Was he Malice in TNA?
Yeah.
Are you positive?
Oh, man. I could have sworn I just looked this up today. Oh, no, he is dead. 2003.
Yeah.
Where did I see that he was alive? Oh, I see what happened.
A different Wall?
No, I looked at it wrong. Usually they say, like, born-death.
Okay.
This only had the date that he was born, so I presume that meant he was still alive.
I
The
see.
date of death is down below.
I see. Fall of Sting music video.
Oh, this was incredible. I'll tell you something. I was running a little bit behind. I watched this Bagwell Berlin match. I was Googling the Wall. I couldn't figure out why he was not dead. The Sting video package airs, and I start to fast forward through it.
No.
And honest to God, I fast forwarded all the way through it, and the guys start coming out for the main event, and I was like, I just gotta watch it. So I rewound it. I'm so happy that I did. They did a video package where what I thought was they're going to... Here's why I rewound it, okay? Because they've done a few of these before where they try to go back 4 years and tell the story of a person through all of the WCW bullshit, and it's so ridiculous how they try to tie everything together, right? The Kevin Nash Hulk Hogan one.
Yeah.
Before they had their match. So I thought, I cannot wait to see them explain the story of Sting from 1995. They did not do that. Instead, this video package was all about how Sting had turned heel. And has he been a dick all along?
Yeah.
They went back.
They retconned the story.
They did. They showed all of the stuff that he did where, like, he was wrongly accused. And
They took that part out,
Yep.
but they just showed the part where he did the promo with his back to the camera,
Exactly.
literally turning his back on the company.
Yep.
He tells the company to stick it.
Yep. They showed all of this stuff, and they basically said,
We should have known.
We should have known.
Yes.
At one point, the voiceover guy, he asked some question, and he goes, right? Just totally weird. It's bizarre. And then they do the whole video package, and literally the final line, which was so fucking ironic. The final line is, for this is a most trying time to have heroes in World Championship Wrestling. It's like it's fucking WWE in 2018.
All I can say.
There are no fucking heroes. It's crazy.
Did you mention, by the way, that as part of this video package, they teased We may even see the return of the bogus Sting.
Yeah. Maybe the bogus Sting has been sent out by the real Sting. It's like, fuck, I never thought of that before.
Sting's a master genius.
Sting beat his
He is
ass
a
80 times.
Diabolical monster.
And a patient man.
And patient man, this is a long con. This is a 4-year plan
This
he's
is
got.
a long, long fucking con. Goes back to 88.
I'll have a great match with Ric Flair and then screw him on Nitro 15 years later.
Yes. On a show that doesn't exist.
Oh, God. All right, Sting and Lex versus Hulk and Brett. My screen was all kinds of wacky and freezing and buffering.
Okay, I'll take over.
Yeah.
What the fuck was this? You had... Okay, so we were coming off 3 good matches, okay? We were coming off a Steiner-Benoit match, which the people liked. Eddie Saturn, which the people liked.
Yep.
Buff Berlin, which the people liked. They bring out the tag teams of Lex Luger and Sting against Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart. They ring that goddamn bell. Nobody cares. It's deathly silent. They've got... I don't even remember who was in the ring, but I can tell you by reading this. Sting tags in Lex Luger. Bret Hart tags in Hulk Hogan for the double fucking hot tag. Silence in the building.
Well, they were tired.
They get in the ring. Hogan makes his comeback. He hits the big boot. Deathly silence in the building. Luger cuts him off. So finally, they start beating on Hogan, double teaming him. Now the fans start chanting for Hulk. I'm like, where were you fucking people 5 minutes ago when you didn't care? Fires up. There's a spot. Did you see this? You saw the whole match?
Sure.
There's a spot where Hulk Hogan fires up and Sting cuts him off with a double leg takedown.
Yeah.
I'll explain how this happens. Hulk is on his feet. Sting drops to both knees in front of him. He hugs one of Hogan's legs. Then he hugs both of his legs. Hulk Hogan, from a standing position, slowly sits down onto the ground, and they both fall sideways. I was fucking laughing so hard at this fucking spot. Finally, Hogan hits a double clothesline, makes hot tag. Brett runs wild, breaks down into a 4-way. DDP hits the ring. People are already throwing shit.
Yep.
Brett puts Sting in the sharpshooter. DDP tries to hit him. Hogan makes a save. Lex Luger then grabs a baseball bat. And he fucking swings this bat. And he hits Bret Hart right in the fucking eyeball.
Yep.
Yeah, I did see that part,
I
actually.
rewound this 10 fucking times. Right in the fucking eyeball with this bat.
I sure it was a
I don't
wiffle
give
bat.
a shit if there was a wiffle bat.
Yep.
I don't care if this was a
Absolutely.
bat made out of foam. It could be a bat made out of air. He hit him in the fucking eyeball with this thing, and Brett's just like, fuck! Falls down on the ground, gets pinned. He's like this till the show goes off the air. I have no idea how he survived this shot. It was the most brutal baseball bat shot I've ever seen. And that was that. That was the end of the show. They gave him time. This was not your usual bullshit 1-minute main event. They got like 10 minutes.
And there was a finish.
And there was a finish.
Even if it was a screwy one.
Yep, there was a finish.
You know, it's hard for people to care. Just last week, Brett was talking about how he wanted to fight Hulk Hogan. Luger's out there in his street clothes. Why would anybody care?
Well, they didn't.
Right.
So
Touche.
that's your answer.
Okay.
Actually.
Also, Brett was away for a long time. Then his brother passed away, and he was away for even more time. This was his first match back in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Threw it out there.
Yeah. You look good.
Sure, I'm sure he looked good. The point is, advertise it,
You'd think.
build to it,
Yeah.
promote it as a promotion.
Maybe could make some money.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You gotta say the finishes on this show were.
The finishes on this show were clean pin, 2 pins in a singles match by a guy who was not in the match, pin after cowbell shot, DQ in a tag match, clean pin for a title change where the guy who lost came out looking better than the guy who won, clean pin after interference, pin after bat shot.
That was definitely better than Raw.
Way better than Raw. I don't know what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
I don't either.
I think Raw was so bad it ruined my whole day. honestly.
Yeah, that's happened to me many Tuesdays. I hate Tuesday.
I got to I got to watch Raw like on Thursday or Friday. So my Tuesdays are easier.
I see. I got to watch it. Go downstairs on the way out and just ask my wife, just say, what's Brian's most hated day of the week? She'll say, Tuesday. It's my most hated day. All right, everybody, we're out of here. Back on Thursday with Granny. I'll be back tomorrow with Filthy Tom. We got a lot to get into, including another food review. I believe it's going to be KFC. That's what I've been told.
How are you feeling about that?
I like KFC.
Dude,
Okay.
I don't like KFC, but the Georgia Gold barbecue sauce they have, awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to love when they had those Chicken Littles.
The sandwiches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were absolute shit, but when you're a little kid, they taste really, really good.
Yeah.
And I do like their chicken strips. They actually have a really good meal of the chicken strips and the fries, whatever they call them.
Potato wedges.
Oh, yeah.
And the mashed potatoes and gravy, which are horrible mashed potatoes and gravy.
They're the worst potatoes in the
Double
world.
Yeah,
starch.
but I like them.
Get the barbecue beans.
And we'll talk. Anyway, so that's tomorrow, and then Observer Live. Lots of great stuff. Check it out. That's it. We'll talk to you again after a while.
Good night.
Adios.